I'd like to introduce author, screenwriter, and Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright, Tony Kushner.
So we have an exciting offer. If you are willing to donate $100,000 right now, we'll give you a chair to sit in. And if you donate $500,000 right now, you can leave and you don't have to listen to my speech. So my fondest memory of the Metro Theater is of a night in 1978 when I went with some friends. We were undergraduates, students of a once great, now thoroughly debased institution of higher learning located in nearby Morningside Heights. We were at the Metro, which at the time I believe was called something else, maybe the Midtown. I think I was right because there was no movie. Midtown. Anyway, though it was mostly a porn house at the time, the night we went to see the sequel to Jaws, Jaws 2. Was being shown there. It must have been late in the run of that movie. The Midtown, or whatever it was called, was not a premier venue. The audience was sparse but vocal. At one point, when a young woman in a bikini was screaming while a huge fin circled her raft, someone in the audience called out, "She's getting paranoid." The most memorable moment of the night had nothing to do with the movie. About an hour into it, a man about 4 rows ahead of us leaped into the air screaming, "Shit, a man-sized rat!" This announcement was followed by the first human wave I'd ever seen as the aforementioned rat made its way across the feet of the row's successive occupants, one after the other of whom flung up sodas and popcorn as he or she or they jumped up on their seats. Then all of the theater customers started screaming and leaping and stampeding for the exits as it became apparent to us that the man-sized rat had brought its friends and family, the ganz Rat Mishpucha. Though I'm sure that Ira has big plans for the new Uptown, and I can't wait to go there, some part of me wonders, can he really compete with that? But then I remind myself that a yearning to return to a cherished memory like the one I've just shared, a longing for a remembered past is nostalgia. And nostalgia is always, always bad. These terrible, terrible times ought to have taught us that anyone who invites us to make, fill in the blank, great again is a grifter at best, and at worst, and most likely something much, much, much worse. The bad new things, Bertolt Brecht instructs us, are always better than the good old things. It's tricky to adhere to that anti-nostalgia conviction if you make art or if you love art that requires audiences in theaters. The last time a room with a proscenium arch could with accuracy be described as a new thing was in the opening years of the 17th century, and rooms with lots of seats riveted in place in order to transfix the attentions of numerous people in a common collective direction are way older than that. They're among the oldest things our species has contrived. So how ought we anti-nostalgists to regard Ira Deutschman's campaign to transform the now disused Metro Theater into an art house cinema? What could be more retro than Ira's Metro, or Uptown? Everyone my age remembers the halcyon age of New York art house cinemas. When I met my husband Mark, he was living in an apartment above the long-lost Lincoln Plaza cinemas, where we spent many wonderful hours watching world cinematic masterpieces in the company of our fellow Upper West Siders, eating shrimp lo mein from white cardboard containers with chopsticks in the dark. These art house movie theaters must count as good old things, things we miss and want to have back. Does this mean that Ira is trying to get us to help him make movie watching great again? God forbid. I don't think that's what Ira's doing. Mark and I are here, like you, to support him, to join his campaign for the Uptown Theater, secure in our anti-nostalgist credentials. Because art is progress, locked in an eternal battle against barbarism. Barbarism has many disguises. Sometimes it disguises itself as progress. In our era, barbarism is the nesting place of corporatism, of capital logic, of blind acquisitiveness, of tautologies that shove humanity out of the picture, of pictures that blur our vision and dull our senses and cauterize our intellects. Barbarism is the splintering and shattering and atomization of human community, the degradation of all ecosystems. It's the summoning together of psychotically individuated fetishists for orgies of degradation and debasement, not the fun kind of kinky orgies that expand our consciousness, but the kind of White House Walpurgisnacht we've been witnessing agape with horror. Barbarism seeks to reverse the flow of time through destruction, so it stands to reason that creation is barbarism's antithesis. Ira is inviting us to create something, to make something, to keep something alive that, though imperiled, still exists. The Metro Theater Art House Cinema, the Uptown Art House Cinema, Uptown Cinema? Uptown Art House? The Uptown. The Uptown Cinema won't save the world, and who knows any more if anything can save the world, but we're here tonight to support Ira and his cause because we'd rather keep creating, believing that the human community collectively creating is our last best hope, the last best hope of Earth. Movies are best seen in movie houses, with or without man-sized rats. If movie houses survive, audiences will survive. And audiences will demand not merely movies, but art. And without art, we can't beat back barbarism. So giving generously to help Ira make an art house cinema, while it may or may not save the world, may be a means by which we save our imperiled citizen souls. Thank you.